I'm still waiting for the court. When you guys pick me up, remember that stuff?
Welcome to Cops in Action, where we are committed to seeking transparency and fairness in law enforcement activities. In today's episode, we will explore three key topics: retaliation, arrests, and the public's right to record. This episode is not just about categorizing the right and wrong actions of the police, but also involves a thorough examination to shed light on pressing issues in law enforcement. We focus particularly on clarifying the legal, public, and personal impacts of these events. This journey is not just a routine audit, but an ongoing effort to ensure that citizens' rights are protected and misconduct by law enforcement is brought to light.
Are you dropping a... Oh, you're smoking in a vehicle. Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
As opposed to wearing a badge and a gun,
Yeah.
riding around in a marked car.
Well, we don't mind all that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's part of the job description. That's part of the job description.
Right?
Like they got the blue line flags
Yeah, I
out
smoke
here.
too. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. Taxpayers might, though.
What do y'all feeling?
Got it? You right now.
I mean, what for?
Why not?
Unit number 475. It's not from.
If I'd have known you were going to film me, I would have brushed my hair.
No, my hair's not messed up. This is my good side, though. I'm glad y'all are getting it.
Oh, that don't mean you have a bad side though, right?
Yeah.
Taking pictures of different towns you visit? Oh, you don't? You don't take pictures at all? You don't?
Why y'all take pictures? They can't take pictures around?
Wait, what's your name?
Huh? I didn't hear that. Don't go on that way. I can't hear you.
We need to get on that way. What's your
Don't
name?
need to leave.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Know my name.
I don't need to know your name. Are you sure about that? You work for the state of Mississippi? You work for the jail? You have a sheriff's cert on, so yeah. It means you would work for the state of Mississippi as well. I'm gonna take some pictures and then I'll leave. Huh? Yeah.
You need to stay away from videoing in our cars. You do not video in our cars. That is our private vehicle.
What's your name?
None of your business. What's your name?
Which one?
I don't like to give my
Y'all
name.
are looking in both of these vehicles.
You mean something and along the lines of?
He did.
Am I in that car? Am I in that car?
That's our personal business.
De-escalate for one.
Well, first of all, you need to get away from our vehicles.
Is this public or private property?
It's public property, but that's private vehicles.
So you're saying what
So
I can't see with my eye, I can
cannot
record.
stay
I
in
can
my
record
vehicle.
anything I can see with my eye.
Well,
And that's why y'all should be doing everything right now. Y'all don't even know who we are. That's the thing.
that's exactly right. You
Right,
need to
right.
tell us who you are.
But you don't come out and
You're
escalate. You don't
going
come out
in
here
our
yelling at the
vehicle.
public. You don't come out here yelling at the public either.
Well, you don't go in my vehicle. Look at
Was I in your vehicle? Was I in your
No,
vehicle?
you were
Was
looking at 'em.
You never walk through parking lots and look in people's cars?
No,
you walk
I
by?
do not.
Oh, you
And
do
I
not?
didn't-
You
I
lie.
dang
You
sure
lie.
don't video
For one,
what's in the
de-escalate.
vehicle.
Quit your yelling. For one.
Because you've been
Quit
in
your
my
yelling.
vehicle.
I have not been in your vehicle.
You
I
have
walked by
been
your
looking
vehicle.
in my vehicle. That
I can
is
look
the same
and
thing.
record anything I can see from a public eye. See, y'all need to learn the law out here. Apparently, y'all don't know the law
They
very
need
well.
to get off the property is what they need to do.
This is
Because they don't
public
look in my
property.
vehicle
This
one
is
more time,
public property.
and I'm
Listen
gonna
to this
file
lady right
charges
here.
on it.
Look, first thing, talking and yelling ain't against the law, okay?
No, it's not.
And y'all looking at personal vehicles, that's against the law, okay?
That's called
Now,
plain
listen,
view doctrine.
Listen, listen,
Don't
listen.
shut
your mouth and listen.
I'm not going to shut my mouth and listen. No, it's not like that. No, I could stand out here. I could walk through this
Listen.
parking lot. Why do
Listen.
I got to listen to you?
Because
What's your name and badge number?
right here.
It's right here. Is that H-E-R-E or H-E-A-R? Right here. You said here. You know, I'm trying to spell it for different ones. You know what I mean? What's your badge number?
20.
20. Your badge number?
Smith.
Smith.
All 15.
All right.
I've already met you.
Well, you already met me. Yeah, smoking in a city car. You know, that's not the greatest thing either.
You know what?
Don't approach me. Please don't get near me.
I'm gonna let you know. Okay, there's no policy against that.
Okay.
Sheriff's Department has no policy, so you're making an issue over something that's not there.
We pay for those
what
cars.
you
know.
need to do
It's not get off this
the
property.
Yes, you do. This is a
This is
restricted
public
area. No.
Where's the signs?
This
I did
is
not
a
see not
prison.
one sign. I did not see one
This
sign restricting
is
this
a
area.
prison.
If there's no signs restricting an area as public property, we're allowed to walk on that property. See, y'all don't know the law very well. See, this is what we're out here to do, is to educate.
Okay, I'm
Show
gonna
me one sign.
educate you.
Show me one sign
I'm
that
going to
says.
educate you now. Are you the warden of this facility?
That's great.
Is he
Congratulations.
trespassing?
Oh, I'm trespassing.
premises.
I'm trespassing on
Leave the
public
premises.
property. Okay, let me ask you this: if I
Leave the premises.
if I do not leave, will I be arrested? That's all I need.
You were told you were trespassing.
But
Leave the
I'm on
premises.
public property. You can't be.
Officials have declared that filming inside personal vehicles is illegal. However, auditors argue that they have the right to do so based on the plain view doctrine, a widely recognized legal concept. The plain view doctrine allows law enforcement officers to seize evidence and contraband that they observe from a clear vantage point, as long as they are there legally. This means that if an officer sees illegal activity from a lawful position, they can act without additional paperwork. However, advocates of free speech often cite the First Amendment as protection for filming in public spaces. According to this perspective, the public has the right to record and photograph anything within plain view. This creates a conflict between the right to film and the plain view doctrine. Daniel Tooze intends to take the case to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals to debate this issue. The 2017 case, Turner v. First Driver, has expanded protections for filming, including the right to record police actions. The court emphasized that the First Amendment protects filming not just as an individual right, but as part of free speech. The court has affirmed that there is no reasonable expectation of privacy in public spaces, such as a shared parking lot. This means that, according to the Supreme Court's decision in Florida v. White, 1999, police seizing a vehicle from a public parking lot does not violate privacy rights, as the parking lot is considered a public area. Therefore, the act of auditors filming inside vehicles where the public can see is not considered a violation of reasonable privacy. These issues are raising important questions about civil rights and legal regulations. Join us as we continue to explore these significant legal developments.
It doesn't.
So the state doesn't fund this property?
The county
Funds it.
and it is a facility, a
Correct.
correctional
Correct.
facility.
You're
Get off
100%
the
right.
property, sir, or you will be arrested for trespassing.
That's all I needed to hear. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. That's what exactly.
Go.
Don't. I'm walking.
And don't go and
I'm
don't
walking.
come back on this property.
I'm walking.
Now, everybody has tried to be nice, and everybody
and was
has
I raising
tried
my
to
voice?
be-
And was I raising my
and
voice?
everybody
And was I
has
raising my
tried to
voice?
be
Was I
helpful
raising
with
my
what
voice?
y'all are doing.
Was I raising my voice? Was I being belligerent? Was I
Get
being?
off the
I'm
property.
walking off the property. And if I am moving that direction, I'm moving that direction. This is public property. It's public property.
This is as far as you can go, because this is a correctional facility.
Which makes it public property.
No.
Oh my God.
When you start dealing with correctional facilities, you are dealing with a restricted
Do people come?
area.
Do people? We got to cam back. Don't erase that because I'm going to get that footage. And if you erase that, that is a felony
Don't
against
erase
you.
it.
Don't erase that.
Really?
I'm going to get that footage. I'm going to get that footage.
That's right.
I'm going to
You
get that
just made it
footage.
Public record, lady.
You see this?
It's yeah, public property.
Disturb the public? 'Cause I'm
Who
sitting
are we
there,
disturbing?
You don't see all these people?
Who? Hey, did I get anybody out here? Did I tell all these people to come out here and say something to us?
I do have one question. Okay.
Did I ask
You have
everybody
a
to come out here?
trespass.
He was looking in our private vehicles.
That
Okay.
doesn't
Hey,
mean you need
that's the
to-
First
have
Amendment.
a
It does
press-
mean because
you
it's
have
not
a
his
trespass.
business.
First Amendment.
From what newspaper?
No, it's
From the
not
First
a jail
Amendment.
or
Everybody is
basically,
pressed.
right, I'm the warden.
What are the 5 elements of the
Get
First
off the
Amendment?
property.
We're not on the property no more.
Yeah, we're still
Yeah, you
right
are.
here.
Sit on that road out there. This
I
is
think-
property.
And who said that? See, that's assumption. That's your own conclusion. Oh my God, I know, right? See, that's your own conclusion. If anybody walks through a parking lot, in any parking lot, everybody glances and looks in cars. If what you could see from public can be filmed from public, that is law. That is law. That is law. No, it's no. It is called. It's called Constitution. Oh. That's exactly what we're doing. And the only people that are breaking the Constitution and violating people's rights right now is y'all.
Let's delve into a high-stakes legal scenario where police are demanding that auditors leave the prison parking lot, threatening them with arrest for trespassing. This issue is complex, involving the application of Mississippi's trespassing laws, specifically Section 97-1-17-97 of the Mississippi Code. According to this statute, remaining in or entering someone else's property without legal authority could be considered trespassing, but the question arises whether this applies to public property, like a prison parking lot. Although the law is not explicit about its application to public property, a court might determine that citizens could be charged with trespassing if they remain in such areas without permission. This raises a critical question. Can the public's right to film override regulations regarding access to public property? Daniel Toos and his team argue that filming from a public space does not constitute trespassing. But does this mean they have an absolute right to remain in a public area, like a prison parking lot? This brings to light a conflict between freedom of speech and regulations governing access to public property. The Supreme Court has made significant rulings in previous cases, clarifying that the First Amendment does not guarantee access to government property, especially when it is not open to the public. For instance, in Cox v. Louisiana, 1965, the court determined that freedom of speech does not allow individuals to freely express their opinions anywhere in public. Moreover, in Adderley v. Florida, 1966, the Supreme Court affirmed that a prison is not considered a public area, and protesters who refuse to leave such a facility can be charged with trespassing, despite exercising their First Amendment rights. This underscores that access rights may not always be protected if they conflict with property ownership regulations. So, could Toos and Michelle Garner face trespassing charges if they refuse to leave the prison parking lot? This is a crucial question that we need to explore further. Stay tuned as we continue to investigate this important legal issue.
This is a public service.
Yeah,
White guy?
yeah,
Yeah, he sucks.
he does.
I've dealt with him. He's very shit.
But this time he jumped out of his car at me because I walked over a nice neighbor this time.
Yeah.
And before I said, would you please turn your music down? He threw his lit cigarette at me, jumped out. I had my German Shepherd with me, and he started yelling at me and told me, a language. And
Did the cigarette hit you?
no, just his movements. But is it true that they can play their music as loud as they want to until 11 o'clock?
But if he's disturbing the peace, then
Oh,
I'm gonna go have a talk with him. I've talked to him before. He's always an asshole. Yeah. I don't care if I'm on camera saying I don't like him. He's always very rude.
He is, and
Yeah,
this
it's
is definitely
unreal.
more than.
He's in his car if I can hear him.
Am I asleep?
Yeah, actually, yeah. We can throw that on him
Please do.
because I hear it. So my partner.
Trust me, he turns it up louder.
I know. I'm gonna wait for my partner because he's always very aggressive.
Yes, he is.
So if he continues that, then he might be. I'm gonna try and find a reason. He didn't do anything in any way other than the cigarette.
He just frightened me because
How so?
he jumped out of the car and walking towards
You
me.
think he's gonna hit you?
I don't know what. He just acts real funny.
Wow. He said he hopped out of the car at her. Trying to take it. I hate this guy. Yeah, we almost fought him last time. Okay. He never wants to ID himself. Okay. Now we have to. I've heard his music, so I can give him a citation.
Well, let's do it.
If he doesn't give us an ID, then he's going to jail.
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good, dude.
You looking good? What you looking at? What you looking at? Why you got some clothes on?
City of Daytona Beach.
I'm lower by them seasons.
Get the fuck out of my face.
No, get the fuck out of my face. Up here.
Because your music's louder with more than 25 feet.
The state of Florida
does not
says.
matter.
The state of
The
Florida.
city of Daytona
No,
Beach says
I'm lower
otherwise.
by them
Get
seasons.
the fuck out of my face.
No,
too.
get the fuck out of my face.
On May 10, 2023, Daniel Toos and Michelle Garner returned to the Walt Hall County Sheriff's Office to file a complaint and request public records. Upon returning to the facility, they noticed a new restricted area sign outside the jail's parking lot. This sign was not present during their previous inspection, raising questions about transparency in procedures and the sheriff's office's awareness of access regulations. Sheriff Kyle Breland admitted that he was unaware of the missing sign and agreed that the parking lot had previously been open to the public. This acknowledgement, along with Toose's intention to file a civil rights lawsuit upon receiving the records, highlights a deeper issue of administrative oversight and public rights. The evaluation of this encounter reveals concerning attitudes from the Walthall County staff, who displayed hostility and aggression. Their reaction underscores a significant gap in understanding privacy expectations in public spaces and a lack of respect for the First Amendment rights. Their negative response to auditors filming vehicles, especially when any member of the public could also see inside, seems unfounded and highlights a disconnect between law enforcement actions and constitutional protections. The Supreme Court's decisions regarding freedom of speech and public filming are evidently not considered by local authorities. This situation shows a critical gap between legal rights and law enforcement practices, emphasizing the need for education and adherence to constitutional principles among public officials. Although Toose may have overstated the First Amendment protections, the auditors maintained calm and respectful conduct throughout their interactions with county staff. Their actions to demand accountability from public officials are commendable and demonstrate the positive impact they have made. The Sheriff's Office's response, including the installation of new signs to clarify the restricted nature of the parking lot, is a positive step towards addressing ambiguity and preventing future misunderstandings. This proactive measure is a direct result of the auditor's efforts and illustrates their influence in improving public policy. In another case, on October 31, 2022, Officers Jacob and Brian Jefferson of the Daytona Beach Police Department responded to Devin Sanfilippo's complaint about a neighbor's music. Subsequent interactions, recorded by body cameras, reveal ongoing challenges in balancing public concerns with law enforcement. This case highlights the importance of handling public complaints fairly and transparently, in line with constitutional protections and community expectations. Overall, these cases provide valuable insights into how legal rights are regulated and enforced in public spaces. They emphasize the continuous need for education and adherence to constitutional rights for both public officials and citizens. The impact of these interactions serves as a crucial reminder of the importance of maintaining transparency, respect, and constitutional compliance in all public and legal relationships.
What's your name?
No, you don't have to put your feet on me like that, man. Oh.
Hey, you're just gonna get another charge.
No. Wow. Shit. I didn't say nothing to you.
Give me your fucking arm.
Oh my god, guys. The beige and not. What's your beige and. No. Oh my god, no. What you doing?
Back up.
No,
Back
no,
up.
no, no, no,
Hey.
no.
Give me your hand, you understand?
Hey, man.
Give me your hand, you
No.
understand?
You're breaking the law. You're probably feeling.
Give me your hand, you're gonna be taken.
Give
Give him your hand or you're gonna get tased.
No, I need to. Is either.
Give him your.
Give me your hand.
What's your page and number? I'll fucking shoot the fuck out of you.
Go shoot me, alright.
Yeah. Nope, I ain't gonna shoot you. Alright, I'll shoot you.
Come on, man.
You're a public servant.
You wanna get in my face, man? You wanna
You're
act
a
like a big
public
bad guy?
servant.
You gonna
I'm
fucking
not
jump in?
breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law at all. I never break the law. 8 years I've been staying in this country. What the fuck? What am I being arrested for? I ain't breaking the law. The state of Florida allows me to listen to my music till 11 p.m.
Recently, during an interaction, Officer Hal humorously asked Ms. Sanfilippo if she thought Mr. Vosevich might attack her when he stepped out of the vehicle and approached her. This question highlights Officer Hal's attempt to determine whether Mr. Vosevich's actions could be classified as assault under Florida Statute Section 784.011. This statute defines assault as an unlawful threat, either by word or action, combined with a clear ability to carry out such a threat, creating a reasonable fear of imminent harm. Although Ms. Sanfilippo did not explicitly express fear of violence, legal precedents indicate that fear is not a necessary condition for an assault charge if a reasonable person would perceive a threat of imminent harm. The case of Daniels v. State, 2020, in the First District Court of Appeal of Florida, clarified that actual testimony of fear is not required if the threat is perceived as imminent and specific by a reasonable person. Thus, Mr. Vosevich's actions, stepping out of the vehicle, tossing his cigarette, and approaching Ms. Sanfilippo, could be considered aggressive and potentially threatening, even if Ms. Sanfilippo did not directly express fear. Furthermore, in a legal context, the case of Prosper v. Martin, 2021, reviewed by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, noted that using a taser to subdue a suspect who repeatedly ignored police commands and continued aggressive behavior was not considered excessive force. This principle was also supported in the case of Draper v. Reynolds, 2012, where the court determined that using a taser on a non-compliant and aggressive suspect who refused verbal commands was reasonable and not excessive force. Given these legal precedents, the use of a taser on Mr. Vosevich by Officer Jefferson, who employed the device after Vosevich's refusal to comply with commands, would be deemed lawful under similar conditions. Courts have consistently upheld the use of such force when dealing with aggressive and non-compliant suspects who pose a potential threat. This case illustrates the complex interaction between perceived threats, legal definitions of assault, and the reasonableness of police responses. Understanding these legal standards provides insight into balancing effective law enforcement with constitutional rights to prevent excessive use of force. Examining and evaluating these legal principles underscores the importance of maintaining a balance between effective policing and protecting constitutional rights to avoid excessive force.
What's your badge number?
I don't have bad numbers.
No, oh, you don't got no badge number. Oh, right? You have to file the report, right? All the witnesses, all the fucking arrested officers.
You'll be able to get.
Hey, I'm been in this country for 8 years, and I got clean ass record. I ain't selling no. I ain't selling. Hey, nope. What's your badge number?
Yeah, you guys are residents here, right?
You're supposed to.
You guys
You
are
don't have
residents
to
here, right?
push me like this, man.
Stop. Yanking on me.
Hey, record this shit, please. Record this
It's
shit.
already recorded.
Those guys are getting fired because they're acting that way. No, I got 2 of them. It's valid as fuck.
Alright.
Yo, man, like, what you put me in cuff for?
What's your name?
What you put me in cuff for?
What's your name?
No, you don't have to put your feet on me like that, man. Oh, I'm still waiting for the court where you guys pick me up. Remember that stuff?
No point explaining any
No,
names.
no. Oh, you're pushing my feet on me, bro.
Because you keep moving.
Keep that. Света, снимай, пожалуйста. Снимай это.
Mr. Vosevich questioned Officer Hal about why he was taken down to the ground. Officer Hal responded that it was because Mr. Vosevich had gotten too close and invaded his personal space. However, footage from the body camera shows a different picture. According to the video, when Officer Hal took forceful action, Mr. Vosevich had just moved away from Officer Hal's position and used disrespectful language. Officer Hal showed determination in dealing with Mr. Vosevich, especially when Hal emphasized that Mr. Vosevich had violated rules and acted provocatively. Mr. Vosevich responded with unfriendly remarks, which led to Officer Hal's decision to use force. However, it is noteworthy that in the case of Nevis v. Bartlett, 2019, the Supreme Court ruled that having a plausible reason for an arrest may not relate to the officer's personal motives. The court could conclude that if officers had a reasonable basis to arrest Mr. Vocevich for noise or disruptive behavior, this could be considered lawful, even if it appeared to be retaliatory. Based on the current facts, Mr. Vocevich's pursuit of a retaliatory arrest claim might not succeed, as the court could find sufficient grounds for Officer Hall's actions. The discrepancy between Officer Hall's testimony and what is recorded on camera highlights the need for a thorough review of both parties' actions in the case. This is a prime example of how body camera evidence can clarify situations and legal decisions.
Guys, I'll get you the fuck serious, guys. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you want to sit on your butt or you want to lay like that? Do you want to sit on your butt or lay like that?
Fucking law. I didn't break the fucking law. What the fuck you put the handcuffs on me, man?
I'm not here to
For
argue.
somebody to like me, this guy who packed me out for nothing, like fucking 2 weeks, 2 months, smart.
No,
and
you
try
got
like,
my face, man. I told you
No.
to get back, and you wanted to keep walking toward me.
Hey,
That's why you're
I
on the
didn't
ground.
break the
That's why
law
you're
right
doing
now. You can say whatever the fuck you want. I'll shoot the fuck out of your
it.
ass.
Cool, you threatened me
I'm trying
like
to get
5
back
times
to my
now.
seat. What time is it?
What happened?
So, I get a call from that lady over there saying this guy, I walked up to his music's playing.
Okay.
And she's like, she wanted to turn the music down, she started a noise complaint. I've been out with this guy before, he's always very... We're over there, he gets out of the car, he's flipping her off, doing this. He said that he flipped a cigarette at the lady, and he hopped out at the lady.
Okay.
And she felt threatened. When I get out with him, he gets out, he starts advancing towards me, I said, you get the fuck back. One,
So what are we charging with? I mean, were you here conducting a lawful investigation?
yeah, he was in violation of playing his music because all more than 25 feet.
Okay. So were you, but you gave him a lawful order while doing your lawful investigation?
Mr. Vocevich was charged with resisting an officer without violence and 2 counts of threatening law enforcement officers. He was detained for 18 days until he ceased contesting the charges on November 17, 2022. After pleading guilty, he was released on time. Meanwhile, Mr. Vocevich had been out on bail for a period, with additional charges, including drug possession and driving an unregistered vehicle, still pending. It is worth noting that Officers Hall and Jefferson received an F grade for disrespect and unprofessionalism throughout the encounter. They displayed clear bias and used unnecessary force when taking Mr. Vocevich to the ground, despite him not physically resisting or attempting to flee. Officer Hall repeatedly admitted to personal hostility towards Mr. Vocevich, and even stated he would try to find a reason to arrest him. Although Hall initially claimed he took Mr. Vocevich down because he came too close, he later testified that his actions were due to Mr. Vocevich's failure to follow orders and his behavior while detained. Despite the apparent difficulty Mr. Vocevich may have in succeeding with a retaliatory arrest claim, this does not justify the misconduct of the officers. The video evidence clearly shows that Officer Hall's actions were largely driven by personal animosity, and his decision to use force seemed to be a reaction to Mr. Vocevich's offensive behavior. Mr. Vocevich also received an F for his aggressive behavior and lack of respect towards the community, including repeatedly threatening the officers. While I disagree with many of the officers' actions in this situation, I also cannot condone Mr. Vocevich's behavior in playing loud music and attempting to intimidate his neighbors. It's crucial to avoid threatening violence against law enforcement and other individuals. Hopefully, Mr. Vocevich will improve his conduct in future interactions with the police. Let us know your thoughts on this case in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more analysis and police interactions. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out my second channel for additional content.